business you want. Day 2 was about your mission. Day 3 was about the business that you have right now. What kind of business do you have now? And what is the gap between what you want and what you have? And that gap, we're gonna work in the month of BizLove to overcome it, to move you from where you are to where you want to be. But before we can, you have to determine, do you believe that it's actually possible to change your business and to grow your skills and to become the kind of person who has the business you want? Or do you think that your dream biz belongs to people who are totally different than you and that you don't have the skills or the ability to build that kind of business? So that's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Now, Carol Dweck has done a lot of research about this in all different areas, from like how people perform in school and sports and business and life, based on if they believe that humans have a fixed, if you believe you have a fixed set of skills and abilities, or you believe that humans can change and grow and learn new skills and abilities. That simple difference between what you believe about your own brain and your own skills and abilities makes all the difference between whether you will actually change and grow and improve your skills and abilities. And over the years, I did not know the word for this, but I've met so many makers and artists who felt really like, well, the kind of business I want to have, I just can't do it. Like, I'm just not the kind of person. Or they look at people who have businesses that they really admire and are like, oh, sure, she has it because she has X, Y, and Z. In other words, they were operating from the fixed mindset and didn't believe that they had the ability to change and grow and become the kind of person who could make it. But if you look at your life and your skills, like, hey, I could figure that out. Everything is figure-outable, and I could figure out what I need to figure out in order to have that kind of business. If you believe that, you're going to be so much more likely to actually do the stuff to make that business happen. So in the workbook for today, I give you a link to where I talk a lot more about mindset, which is episode, I believe, 49. Let me check my notes. Episode 49 of the podcast. It's just called The Key to Business Success, and it's my podcast, Explore Your Enthusiasm, episode 49. I link to that in the workbook, which you can get at taraspiker.com/monthofbizlove. And I also link to a test you can take online to see if you have the growth or fixed mindset. And then the question is, if you have been feeling fixed about certain one of your skills, how can you change that? How do you want to change that? And how has your mindset impacted the growth you've done in your business so far? Now, that I think is a really interesting question, because many of us have a growth mindset in some area. Perhaps you feel like you can become better at, I don't know, basketball, but you don't believe you can become better at business or at math or at doing your numbers. So for a long time, I had a fixed mindset about my athletic ability. And it wasn't until I started walking and then running regularly that I realized, oh, that's pretty burnt. I realized that that was a fixed mindset, and it's silly because I have a growth mindset in so much of the other parts of my business. I believe I can learn and grow how to become the kind of person who has the business I want, but I was having a hard time imagining that I could learn and grow in my, ability to do stuff physically. So that was an area where my fixed mindset was holding me back for a long, long time. And when I made that change, I actually wrote about it on my website. But another thing that a lot of people come up with is you can imagine that your business can get just so big. Like, you have the skills and ability to make a business so big. And when you think about having the next step up business, or a bigger business, or the business that you really want, or a business that spends the time the way you really want, you just think, well, I'm not the kind of person who can have that. So that's a fixed mindset. You need to realize that all of these things are malleable, changeable, improvable, figure-outable, and that you can learn to acquire the skills you need to have the kind of business you want. Without that growth mindset, you can't really do anything else in the month of BizLove. So I want you to think that through. Take the test I linked to in the workbook, which is a test put together by the researcher Carol Dweck about mindset. Take that test, see where you lie, and then think through any place that your business needs to change your mindset in order for you to move forward. With that, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you all of you who watched on Periscope and shared it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit the share button below and tweet it out, Facebook it. embed it in your own site if you want to. Just link back to the Month of BizLove, which you'll find at taraspiker.com/monthofbizlove. And don't forget to share your own mindset thinkings on Instagram by using the hashtag #monthofbizlove. Thank you guys so much and have a fantastic evening.